Hi. Today we are discussing about the movie Smile. Beware spoiler ahead. The movie opens in the bedroom of a recently overdosed woman. When her young daughter walks into her room, she finds her mother's dead lying amid the chaos. The daughter, Rose Cotter, Sosie Bacon, a therapist, is seen in the present day going about her day at work. Carl, one of her patients, is bipolar, Jack Sochet. He murmurs incessantly about dying people and his own impending death. Carl ignores Rose's efforts to console him and continues his episode. Rose then gets a call setting up a meeting with a young woman named Laura Weaver, Caitlin Stacy. Laura is upset when Rose first meets her since she recently saw her professor stab himself to death. Laura says she has since witnessed an evil presence that assumes the form of others. Laura looks back after turning away from Rose and starts to worry out. Rose cries out for assistance, but when she turns around, Laura has picked up a broken shard from a vase and is now grinning menacingly. Rose is shocked when Laura slices her throat before assistance arrives. In order to learn more about the incident, Rose chats to two detectives. One of them is her ex-Joel, Kyle Gallner. She speaks with her employer, Dr. Morgan Desai, and describes what she witnessed, Cal Penn. Later, Rose visits the house she shares with her cat Mustache, her fiancé Trevor, Jesse T. Usher, and other family members. Rose and Trevor go out to dinner with Rose's sister Holly, Gillian Zintzer, and her husband Greg, Nick Arapoglu, but Rose, still reeling from Laura's suicide, snaps at Holly when she reprimands her for forgetting about Holly's son Jackson's, Matthew Lamb, approaching birthday. Rose makes an effort to resume her work and continue. Holly calls Rose to apologize for their dispute, and Holly requests that Rose at least buy Jackson a birthday present. Rose appears to glimpse Laura in the distance as she peers out the window as they converse. Carl tells Rose repeatedly, "You're going to die," when Rose passes by his room and notices him wearing Laura's unsettling smile. When she makes a call for assistance, orderlies detain Carl. Rose runs into an apparition of Laura while shopping for Jackson, who is still beaming. She is unable to locate Mustache at home and is terrified when the security alarm sounds. When the security firm calls, it turns out to be a nasty person who is taunting Rose. Rose attends Jackson's birthday celebration over the weekend. He snatches Rose's gift, which is intended to be a toy train, when it is time to distribute gifts. Instead, Mustache's body is discovered when Jackson opens the box. Rose tries to reassure everyone that she did not do this, but she notices that one of the other mothers seems to have the nasty grin of the thing. Rose trips and falls through a glass table, breaking both of her arms severely. Rose is taken to the hospital for treatment. After learning about her episode, Morgan goes to see her and advises her to take some time off work. Rose tries to explain herself when Trevor brings her home, but he believes she is crazy and that she actually killed Mustache. Additionally, Rose meets with Dr. Madeline Northcott, Robin Waget, a personal therapist who assisted her in overcoming the pain of her mother's suicide. Rose starts her investigation. As she listens to the Laura session recording, she detects what appears to be a slight breathing sound. Additionally, she researches Laura's Professor Gabriel Munoz, Felix Melendez Jr., and locates Victoria Munoz, his widow. She reveals to Rose that just a few days after witnessing another woman called Anna Powell commit suicide, Gabriel claimed to have had visions of something haunting him. Victoria thinks Rose is making light of her sorrow when she says she is going through what Gabriel went through, so she tells her to leave. Joel is reluctant at first, but Rose insists that he assist her in her inquiry. When he checks up Anna Powell, he discovers that she was killed by gouging out her eyes. According to another rumor, Anna also witnessed a man kill himself. Security footage from a gas station shows the man with the eerie smile just before he impales himself in front of Anna. When Rose gets home, she discovers that Madeline has been phoned by Trevor to offer a house call session since they are worried about Rose's mental health. Rose yells at Trevor, telling him that he is more worried about how she will make him look, which causes her to storm out and end their relationship. Rose also visits Holly in an effort to make amends for the birthday, but Holly is unforgiving and accuses Rose of spiraling out of control just as their mother did. Rose responds by claiming that Holly never made an effort to care for their mother and that she had to look after her till the very end. Rose returns to the car and thinks she sees Holly approaching her, but it's simply the ghostly presence troubling her. Joel leads Rose to a prison where she meets Robert Talley, the only person who has survived the curse, Rob Morgan. He explains to Rose that the entity spreads to new victims by latching onto the trauma of humans. Robert killed a victim in order to stop the entity from murdering him by stopping the victims who witnessed suicides from becoming the subsequent victims. Robert freaks out and believes Rose brought the thing with him, requiring him to be restrained, when she informs him she cannot kill anyone. Rose visits Madeline at home on her own initiative and tries to speak with her. Since Madeline calls her for real a short while later, it turns out to be the thing in disguise. Rose's time is approaching. The entity, posing as Madeline, tells her with a smile. Rose drives to her job with a knife out of a sense of helplessness. She enters the building and locates Carl's room, where she provokes him to panic. When Morgan rushes in, she discovers Rose viciously stabbing Carl. He yells and appears to be ripping off his face, but this is actually Rose's nightmare from when she dropped out in her car. When Morgan spots her, she gets in her car and drives off with the knife. Rose phones Joel and explains that in order to prevent the thing from infecting anybody else, she needs to isolate herself. She pulls up to the house where she grew up and lost her mother. The monster appears to Rose in the dark as a tall, long-haired, smiling hideous version of her mother. Rose expresses her rage at her mother for how she acted as a result of her illness and for not receiving the assistance she required. Until Rose lights it on fire and flees the house as it burns, the creature follows and teases her. She subsequently makes a claim that she has finally gotten rid of it while visiting Joel's flat. Joel then explains to her that she will always have it. And he makes a sinister smirk. Rose was dreaming once more. She has not left the house yet. After locating her, the thing rips off its face and stretches Rose's jaw wide before entering her mouth. When Joel arrives and walks inside the house, he discovers Rose dousing herself in kerosene. She turns around, displaying her own eerie smile, and horrifies Joel by setting herself on fire. Laura Weaver, a patient of therapist Dr. Rose Cotter, commits suicide by herself after claiming to have been visited by an evil spirit that smiles at its victims before possessing them to kill themselves. Rose's cat is killed by the creature, and because of its existence, Rose appears insane to her fiancé, sister, and boss. Joel, a former investigator who has helped Rose, discovers the connection between the entity and other suicides after they observed suicides a few days earlier. The only way to stop the creature from taking a victim is to kill someone, which is how one man, Robert Talley, managed to live. Even though Rose knows she can't, she considers killing one of her more unstable patients. In an effort to keep the entity from spreading to others, she makes the trek back to the house where she grew up. Rose believes she has killed the entity, but it deceives her and then controls her to commit suicide in front of Joel, putting him under the curse. Thanks for watching and please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more videos.